Hello and welcome to Guild Bytes. In this video, I'm going to show you a demonstration of our Guild Bytes POS Pro application. This application has been posted on Codesta together with the source code for you to purchase. So if you want to purchase, I'll put the link down below so that you can go there. So I'll show you how to set it up. So when you get your download, it's going to be a zip file in this form. So the first thing you need to do is to extract. So I'm just going to extract it right here. Okay, once it is extracted, inside this there is the source code, which is right here, and then I also have we also compiled it into an executable. So if you don't want to install any dependencies, you don't want to run from the source code, you can just run this and then the POS application will run. So it will come up right now. So this is how it looks like. So it obviously looks like this. So so just a brief overview. If you are interested in how to set up the source code, you can please skip ahead, but now I'm just going to show you basically how this application works. So obviously the first time there is nothing in here, so you basically have to add items. But before then, you can see that the currency here is in Ghanaian cedis, right? Now that's because that's the default that we set it to. So if you want to change it to your own currency, you can come to the settings here, and in here you can actually change this. So you basically change this to your shop name. Let's call this my shop, and then maybe your contact. So this information will basically show up in your invoice. And so maybe I want to pay me, then you save, settings updated. Then in the sales here, so you basically type in the name of the salesperson here. So let's say they are called John Doe, and then the currency. So obviously there's only Ghanaian cedi here. Now if you want to add your own currency, you can add it here. So you can basically follow this, right? So if say you want to add the US dollars, so you can say United States dollar, and then the currency code will basically be USD, and the symbol we use HTML5 code to basically encode the symbols, right? So the one for dollar, the dollar sign is this 36, and the semicolon is important. Now if you want to see the code for your currency, if it is not here, you can look up this navigate to this website. You'll get the list of all currencies and their codes, so you'll basically fill in this. So when we add them, so once it's added, currency added, you can see it's added here. So you can set it so that the currency is now in US dollars. Now if you want to remove, so if you don't want the Ghanaian cedi to be there, you can just remove it from here and it will be gone. Alright, so you can basically come here and set USD and then save. So once it's saved, we can close it, and you can see that once we come here, the USD is set. So we can now add an item. So let's add item 1, some description, just any description here, and then we can put in our pricing, so quantity 500, and then we save. Alright, and let's add one more item, item 2. Now you don't need to fill in this, but if you don't fill in the unit price and the quantity, it will give you an error. It will tell you unit price is required. So and if you enter alphabets, it will tell you to use valid characters, obviously. So let's say this 35, and then the quantities too similarly, right? So the quantities required, and you need to use valid characters. So let's say we have 500 of this, and then we can save. Okay, let's add a third one that we can delete. So let's call this item 4, and description to be deleted, and some values here. Save. So if you want to delete this, you just click and then you click delete, and it deletes it. Okay, and once we've added whatever we want, you can close it now, and then you can come down here and say refresh. So once you refresh the table, all the items show up here. Okay, so if you want to actually make a sale, you can double click on this and it'll be added to the cart. All right, if you double click on the same one again, which is already in the invoice, you'll see that item already in invoice. You can adjust the quantity, and then you'll see that it automatically shows here. If you don't want it, you can delete it and it's gone. You can add it again. You can add 2, so 10, and let's say we want 20 of these. So you can see it automatically updates, and payment to be made 1,000, right? And you can also, type in the customer name. So let's say new customer, and their contact is this 123 name, and then complete sales. So this is essentially the print preview. Okay, so remember, this is the sales manager. So right here you can actually change this to your salesperson. So let's close this and go back to the settings, sales. We can change this, so let's call it John Doe and save, close. So if we come back to complete the sales, you'll see that the salesperson changes to this. Okay, and you can see this go. So you can decide to print or sell without printing, whichever one you want. Let's print it and see how it looks like. So I don't have a printer connected, so I'm going to print it to a PDF so that you'll see how it looks like. So let me put it in pictures. I'm just going to call this test print and save. And once it's done, you say sales completed. And once the sale is completed, you can see that we have them in the sale right here. So here you can check the invoice. So this is the sale that we just made, and if they didn't make full payment, they can actually make the payment here. And also you can filter. So if we change this to this 21, and then we filter, obviously there will be nothing. And so if you change it to 22nd, and it'll appear, and you can see that these also show. Okay, so this is basically how the application works. Alright, so now let us go back. If however you want to build it from source, so you can see that it uses SQLite database, so it's automatically generated, and you can see it's right here. So basically if you delete this, it will reset everything. Okay, so back here in your extracted folder, you can see that we have a requirements.txt file. Right here we can actually install all the dependencies from here. So what we need to do is we need to navigate to this folder. Now I use a virtual environment, so I'm going to activate my virtual environment. If you use a virtual environment tool, you need to activate it. If not, you can just install it straight away. So first I'm just going to go back to my virtual environment, and then I'm just going to activate this. Okay, once it is activated, then I will navigate to this cd, and then I'm in. So from here, I want, if you want to install all the dependencies, you need to install pip install r, because we are going to install from the requirements.txt. So we are going to pass the requirements.txt like so, requirements.txt. And once we run it, it's going to go through and run all the files. Okay, I made a mistake. So requirements.txt. okay, I spelled it wrong again. Let's say dir. Okay, I think I sort of named it .txt, so let's just do it that way, .txt. My bad, I made it that way, but in any case, you make sure you run it like that. Okay, so it'll go through and run everything, and I already have most of them installed. That is why it does this. So once everything is installed, we can navigate to the source folder and then run, inside the source folder we have this main file. That is what we will run. So we can just say python -- main, and then once we run it, we'll see that our application loads, and it loads like normal. Okay, so we can actually, you can open this the source code in your favorite editor. So I use Sublime, so you can see the files right here, and you can see the files here. So if you don't like the database being put in the current location, you can actually change the location right here, and it'll basically store it in your favorite location. Okay, so this is basically the demo. If you have any confusion, any questions, just leave it down in the comments or send an email. I'll put all of those information and the links down below. Thank you very much, and thank you very much again for purchasing. And if you haven't purchased, please go to Codesta and purchase the source code as well as the executable. Okay, thank you.